Go ahead and roll for perception.
I got an 18.
Ooh, 18 is really good. With that, you can see some advertising space available.
So you're telling me if I have a product YouTube channel or podcast that I want advertised, I could do it here?
That's right, and you can get more details by emailing thedungeoncast@gmail.com.
Awesome. I'll have to do that. Thank you very much.
Enjoy the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Will.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything Dungeons & Dragons, from artistic ASMR to animal attacks. And today, we're talking about angels. So tell me about baseball, Will.
No, we're not talking about the angels.
Oh.
But we are talking about angels.
Angels.
D&D angels.
D&D angels.
So angels in D&D fall under a category of beings called celestials.
Okay.
And
that's a language. And
it
like
is
a
language.
monster type.
And a monster type, yeah, exactly. And angels in D&D are loosely based off the Judeo-Christian depictions of angels, beautiful humanoids with elegant white feathered wings.
Yeah, pretty much go like Google Renaissance.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you'll see
that's what they look
about.
like. For the most part, there are some differences.
Winged or robed, and naked or robed.
Yeah, there's a lot of that for sure. Now celestials,
Ooh, like smooth like a Ken doll.
very or that too. Although no, because angels and humans, it is established that they can interbreed. That's how you get ASMR in some settings. In other settings, it's done differently.
And this is why we do this podcast, because
Indeed.
I would have smoothed them out like a Ken doll, but they're
and you
able
can
to
do
breed.
that. And you can do that.
So
Although
I can do that.
it doesn't matter. Like they can polymorph anyway. So yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
There it is.
Need
Anyways.
genitals? This is basically Jurassic Park.
Right. Okay.
You got frog DNA. Let's do it.
So celestials, which is what angels kind of fall under their category, are essentially the polar opposite of fiends. They're entirely good creatures and denizens of the upper planes. Other examples of celestial beings would be archons, the original Eladrin before they became like the Faithings they are now, beings called Gardenals and Coatls. We're not going to really talk about any of these things today. Even though Gardenals and archons are very angelic looking, the word angel usually applies to a specific celestial type known as the Asimon. And that's who we're talking about.
The Asimon.
The Asimon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not the ASMR.
Not the ASMR.
So the
no.
ASMR, that's related, right? Like
Well, yeah, exactly.
Okay,
They're
cool.
they're
That's
half angel, half human.
you can draw a line from one to the other.
Asimon to Asimar, yes, very much so. Now, they gained the name of Asimon during the whole second edition thing, the same way that devils became the Beatizu and demons became the Tenari.
Is second edition like a big? Is there like a big movement in lore in that from first to second?
There was a huge development of lore. Number one, second edition is, I'm pretty sure, the longest lasting edition.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong on that, but it lasted a very long time. And unlike first edition, which, it was the beginning, so like not everything gets spelled out. Like a lot of the juicy lore and the juicy explanations really start in second edition.
Okay.
But also in the 80s, during second edition, there was the Christian fundamentalism scare of like D&D being
Right.
related to Satanism, even though that's fucking stupid. Because of that, I think it was TSR at the time, made some changes to the lore whenever it came to anything that like could remotely be related to Satanism.
Right. They
So
changed the names of everything.
demons, devils, angels all got a rebrand.
Okay.
So you had Tenari, Beatizu, Asimon, et cetera, et cetera.
They all look the same, but
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I think we just recently talked about that too.
And the only name that stuck was Eugoliths. They never went back to
Right.
being called Daemons
That's
because
the
that was a stupid name.
Matt Damon's. That's the episode we referenced it in. Was
Yeah,
Ulysses,
exactly.
which
That's
was
where
only 2
we
weeks
last
ago
talked
or
about
something
it.
like that.
Yeah,
at this
something
point.
like that. Yeah, I can't keep track of time. Anyways, so the Monster Manual in 5e presents 3 categories of Asimon: the Astral Deva, the Planetars, and the Solars. There are other kinds of Asimon, but these are the 3 major types of Asimon, and these are the ones we're going to talk about today. The other ones we'll maybe talk about when we do like a Celestials episode or something.
So
We'll get to
Asimon
it.
basically equals angels, and there are 3 subcategories of them. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, there's more, but these
Okay.
are the 3 majors.
Okay,
So
cool.
Here we are. The angels, even though they're like the polar opposite of demons and devils, like their power levels and hierarchy and stuff does not reflect how with demons and devils, like they have
There's
different
a power
power
scaling
levels.
issue.
Yeah,
And numbers counteracts it.
basically like there are different forms and you can move up through the forms as you get more
Right,
powerful.
right.
Angels are not like that. Angels are stagnant.
Okay. Oh, I thought we were talking about the big picture. Like devils are generally more powerful, but they're outnumbered by demons.
Okay, yeah, there is that factor. Angels way fucking outpower demons and devils by a huge fucking margin. Remember how I said good things in this game are fucking powerful?
True.
We're going to talk about that today.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. I think the lowest level of angel is like CR 10.
Okay, and how does that compare to like where devils range in CR?
I think devils and demons, the lowest level CR is like 3 or 4.
Okay.
But
So immediately, like power
immediately
scaling is
super fucking powerful.
Okay.
But we'll get into that. So angelic origins and natures vary from edition to edition, but 5e has a very traditional depiction. They are born of the will and the essence of deities of good, and are thus themselves actually divine beings.
Okay.
They are absolutely lawful, and they are absolutely good beings, completely and tirelessly devoted to their specific deity's agenda. And they deal directly with said deity.
Nice.
Even angels that serve chaotic good deities are themselves lawful in nature. They're made to be that way because they better serve their purpose by being completely lawful.
Okay.
The lawfulness of angels is a bit different than their evil counterparts of Beator. They do not attempt to find loopholes or reinterpret or manipulate their dogma. Neither do they compromise or negotiate. They operate under a singular and driving purpose as decreed by their God. Although their God cannot command them to commit acts that are counter to law or good.
Okay, sure.
You understand?
Yeah, like they're not gonna do if the god wants to do something that like rides the line of neutral, even like they're not gonna do that.
I mean, neutral's fine because like it's neutral.
But why would a god serving good and blah 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 want to do something evil?
I mean, you could argue that ends justify means. Like a lawful good.
Okay, sure.
Okay, a lawful good deity probably not, but a chaotic good deity might. And the chaotic good deity,
I have to do this one bad thing to make this good shit happen.
Exactly.
For everybody.
You can't send your angel to do it. Use a human.
It's like
So there that is. Angels,
or use your ASMR.
Or that. Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Although
ASMR usually pretty lawful.
I'd use a human.
Okay.
So angels are very extreme. They destroy evil without remorse, hesitation, or doubt. Their judgments are absolute and effectively mostly unmistaken. When their goals conflict with another being's, regardless of intent or alignment, they will never acquiesce or give way.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. In some ways, angels are just as dangerous as the evil they oppose.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this like you're describing the Sith to me.
Yeah. When a god sends an angel to intervene in the affairs of mortals, it is not to serve, it is to command.
It's to get shit done.
Yeah, exactly.
Angels,
it's
they
a
also
big
get shit done.
Fucking deal. Okay, so that's kind of their disposition, and we talked a little bit about what they look like, but what do they actually do? Well,
what they're told, it sounds like.
Well, yeah, what they're told. But angels serve as messengers, agents, and warriors of the forces of good. They protect the upper planes from the invasion of demons, devils, other fiends, aberrations, and whatnot. They're kind of like the guardians of the order of the cosmos.
Right, yeah, okay.
They're both observers and partakers in the blood war. They are active in that because the blood war does directly affect them. Number one, they have to deal with invasions, but number two, who wins really affects them. So... yeah.
Sounds like the blood war isn't meant to end, though.
No, fuck no. Hell no. Most people don't want it to ever end, including the forces of the good.
Because if it ends, that means there was a winner. And that's something.
And then you got to deal with that.
Yeah, like it's a catalytic event.
Well, actually, we'll at the end of the episode, we're going to talk about what happens if the blood war ends, because I have a take on what would kind of happen.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. So some are ordered to just kind of watch over mortal kind in general, help guide followers of good deities. Mm-hmm. On the extremely rare occasion, they can be sent to the mortal realms to directly intervene. This is truly rare, due again to their extreme approach, and thus only in the most dire of circumstances are they ordered to intervene. Their appearance means that shit has kind of gone down. Like their appearance pretends both doom and hope. Like I'm your hope, but shit is fucked up.
It's because I have to be here.
Yeah, one of the things.
This is a force of nature rather than like a creature.
Yes, to a certain degree, although they do have free will to a certain degree as well,
and stats.
Which we'll get into. And stats, so you can't kill them.
I can't kill a tornado.
No, you
can
cannot kill a yeah, that's a good point.
Got 200 HP.
The main thing that I think of when it comes to like angels intervening is like massive abyssal incursion. Angels are probably going to show up.
Right. Because they have to.
But I think the point being here, like angels are of the outer planes and thus are designed physically, psychologically, and spiritually to operate in these extreme environments with these big existential circumstances.
So like if Alan Parrish doesn't roll that roll he hits at the end and gets shot by his like personification of his dad at the end, like angels show up because like now there's all the like
I guess so, yeah.
because we pretty much
stopped
decided
the incursion of Jumanji.
Yeah, because the
Demon Gorgon's coming.
Shout out to Demon Gorgon.
Yeah, okay.
Jumanji is just a portal to the abyss.
Right, exactly. We established that in the in the abyss.
In the
episode.
abyss, in the abyss episode.
Yeah, so tune into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're extreme beings. They can be assholes, but they are technically truly good creatures. Like they can't lie, they can't cheat. They're innately capable of healing the sick and wounded, calming emotions. They're known for ending like let's say there's calamitous weather, like just like a tsunami. Like an angel might show up and just stop it. They can just control the weather. Yeah, so they stop terrible meteorological disasters.
Forget what I said about killing a tornado. An angel can do it.
Yeah, they can kill tornadoes with a snap of their finger.
Nice.
They are kind. They are peaceful. Some of them are compassionate, depending on the kind you're talking to, by default.
Okay.
So, yeah. So even though they're extreme and they're dangerous, like they are good, it's just they can cause bad things to happen sometimes. They're not subtle. They're not creatures of subtlety.
No.
And it's why gods can't use them as a tool to go to the mortal realm because there's too much subtlety and ambiguity, morally speaking, that the angel just can't really deal with.
Yeah, they're getting thrown down at issues like torpedoes out of a submarine or something
exactly.
like that.
They
like
are
going to cause a disruption.
Exactly.
Okay.
So 4E kind of treats their angels a bit differently. Rather than being creations made up of the essence of the deity they serve, they're instead described to be an expression of the positive planes that were birthed at the moment of creation. Remember how sometimes I say like the alignment chart must be expressed?
Yes.
That's kind of like the alignment chart must be expressed. Like the positive planes spontaneously generated these beings that like represent law and good.
Perfectly balanced.
Right.
As all things should be.
Right.
Okay.
Now, these beings in 4E, they willingly swear themselves to gods that represent their own individual view and then serve them lawfully and willingly. Rather than appearing as traditional angels in 4E, they are actually like these energy-looking beings that only vaguely hold a humanoidish form.
Okay.
So like they have wings and they're like usually like armored, but like the bottom half of them is like kind of like a genie. It's just like
energy,
off.
like light or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sure.
And then like their faces are just like two glowing eyes, and there's no other distinctive features.
So I'm picturing the latest edition of Diablo Angel, and then just like cut genie from the waist down.
Maybe. I don't know Diablo, but it does match the description of angels in the Golden Compass series.
Okay,
which,
sure.
They're very much kind of like this.
Okay. Have you seen
very otherworldly?
What is it, Darksiders, where you're one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse?
I'm vaguely familiar.
You're fighting demons and angels. So like angels come down and they're super like armored and they got these big old swords, but you gotta like kill them. Like they're usually fighting demons, and then you show up and everybody wants to fight you now.
right.
So you gotta kill everybody. Yeah.
That's pretty dope. I like that. Rather than like this tiered classification the angels have in 5E, each angel in 4E, they have like a celestial vocation that they represent. So like you would have like angels of justice, angels of valor, angels of vengeance, angels of battle. And they each have their own codes. Okay, not only do they each have their own code of conduct, but like angels as a whole have this kind of separate rules of operation, if you will. So like how do I best put this? So like they're lawful and they can serve any god, and they can actually change allegiances throughout the millennia.
Okay.
And like one of the examples that's given is like there's this angel who's serving Vecna at some point, which is an evil god, a god of necromancy.
Sure.
And like Vecna has commanded this angel to like kill these certain people, but it ends up these people serve Bahamut, and because of an oath this angel made to Bahamut millennia ago when he served Bahamut, he won't kill these people because that goes against whatever angelic code he has.
So,
shit's a little weird.
Yeah, so I took this oath first, and that's why my new oath cannot.
Yeah, like whatever oaths I take on can't counter old oaths.
So first come, first serve on these angels.
I guess
these
so.
Angel oaths, these contracts.
That's really all you're gonna get out of that whole concept for as an example.
So
But
that
just-
seems like they started making tweaks to angels and were like didn't think it through. is what it
yeah,
sounds like to
I
me.
can kind of get it. I think the point here is that angels each have their own agenda in 4E, and they're not like these perfect, lawful, good beings that serve unquestioningly.
Okay, got it.
They're this otherworldly force that the gods just kind of inherited, and they kind of got their own agenda going on.
Like I'm lawful good and I represent vengeance.
Well,
I'm the
they
angel of
choose
vengeance, right?
choose to represent vengeance and then become an angel of vengeance.
Oh, they're like, I like vengeance. Let's do it.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
Sure.
So I don't know. Anyways, back to 5e. So because of their lawful good natures, their innate extreme power, and the fact that like they're extreme, the fact that they have this moral compass that's almost never wrong, angels have a real arrogant disposition and a sense of infallibility to them.
Okay.
Though they
Like you dare question me, kind of
to a certain degree, yeah. Like they are wise and good, they are entirely wise and good, but there is a pride that comes with that can spell the undoing of an angel and can lead it to fall. Like if in a moment of pride an angel mistakenly or even intentionally commits an act of evil,
like thinking that it's the right
thinking
decision.
that's the right thing to do, but being mistaken because they were tricked by like a really, really clever devil or something.
Mm-hmm.
That evil act actually semi-permanently stains the angel and completely cuts their connection to their deity.
Oh, their wings burn off.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if no one saw it, like they are fallen at this point and there's nothing they can do about it. And thus they are shunned and banished actually.
Nice.
For one mistake, if you will. And this is why like they're so extreme and they're designed to be thus so they don't make these mistakes, but still these mistakes do happen sometimes.
That happens. Spoilers for Constantine, but the angel.
Oh, right. Exactly. That's actually a really good example.
Yeah,
of,
the
like,
angel
she
Gabriel.
was completely good and lawful, but she did evil, in this case intentionally for the greater good, but it permanently stained her.
Well, female actress, but
it was-
non-gendered.
it was non-gendered. Gabriel.
yeah,
God,
Gabriel.
I really like that movie. It's nothing like a comic books, but I really like Constantine the movie.
So much better than any other rendition of Constantine I've ever seen. That
Yeah.
I hate that they just kind of left. Like I
They
love that
should've
there's
just
only
called
one
it
movie.
something else.
It's a cult classic to me at this
It's
point.
really fucking good.
Watch
Anyway,
Constantine,
but yeah, that's a great
Keanu
example
Reeves,
of
holy
exactly
shit.
how an angel would fall in
Yeah.
D&D.
which is kind of weird that like so they use like God as like a like they make this analogy like God's just a kid with an ant farm, and like how did all this go down under the watchful eye of God, and then like all this bad shit is going down, and then like God realized that it was happening, and that's when Gabriel fell. Like that's kind of like a God turned his attention to it and was like, oh, is that what you've been doing?
Well, that's one way you can interpret it. Another way you can interpret it is that like the lesson to be learned, like, okay, like we tell stories, right? And we tell stories because they teach a moral lesson. Like Gabriel, you could argue, and this is off the top of my head, but you could argue that Gabriel had to go through the entire arc of the story and then at the climax pay the price.
Oh, okay,
Like
yeah.
it was done by design, if you will.
Yeah,
But
that's the argument they're making in
an
the movie
argument.
too. Like,
Oh, is it?
is
Okay.
God? What is God's role in
Right.
all of this, or whatever?
Yeah, that's a different discussion.
Well, 5e has the like your these angels are contracted, and so
True, but
you could have
these
this
gods
kind
are
of
not
storyline
infallible.
going on.
You could, but again, these gods are not truly omnipotent. They're not truly
Right.
infallible. They're very flawed. But okay, back to falling though. So one or two things can kind of happen with a fallen angel. One, they just accept their mistake and they accept their banishment. They'll, I don't know, flee to the mortal realm, take the form of like some fucking hermit and like try and atone.
Okay.
And it's very possible that after a certain amount of atonement and good deeds, they can
Get back into good
they
graces.
can wash away this stain, if you will.
wash away the sin.
That's not
in the river
usually
every
what
day.
happens. And the reason that's not usually what happens is because the fact that the angel fell is almost always because of an extreme flaw of arrogance and pride. And that arrogance and pride cannot accept the mistake. And thus they fall and they fall hard. And they usually rebel against the forces of heaven by turning to the forces of evil and joining usually the devils. Let's be honest here,
I was right, and fuck you guys.
Yeah,
I'm just
and
gonna continue to do
and that's
me.
how you get Zariel, who is like now one of the Archdukes of Hell.
That's
because
right.
She thought she was right, and she thought she rebelled against the forces of good, and she fell from heaven. And Asmodeus brought her into the fold, and now she's a powerful devil.
I'm getting like after all these episodes we've done, I'm getting like this complete picture
of the cosmos.
Yeah,
and, yeah, very much so. That's
okay.
true. Yeah. So with that being said, let's take a short rest.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome to the part of the show where we're not talking about the last thing we were talking about, because we're going to talk about something else, and it's love. I love you. I love the way you listen to the show.
I do too.
That's good. So, do we want to talk about anything specifically?
No, I don't think we got any. We don't have any announcements yet. Maybe next episode. I'm not sure.
Yeah, next episode we're probably going to have some bigger announcements. We'll hold off on that until now. Or until then. So in the meantime, if you want to support the show, you can do so monetarily on Patreon if you want, or you can watch some YouTube videos because they're monetized with ads, or you could
spread the word.
Spread the word, really.
That's a big one for me.
Thanks everybody who's new to the show coming on board. Yeah, it's looking great. The Dungeoncast is up.
Yeah.
Buy stock. But
it's mostly because of spreading the word. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Like, that really is the thing that probably helps us the most, like long term. Like it's just telling your friends, recommending the show to people who like D&D, to your D&D group or whatever. So if you do that, we really appreciate it.
You can find us on soundcloud.com/thedungeoncast, or on YouTube, or on Twitter at the Dungeoncast. You can email us thedungeoncast@gmail.com. But other than that, there's not really another way to find us. Google search? I found us on Google. Anyway, let's get back to the show.
Yeah, let's get back to the show. And we're back.
That's true.
And we're going to talk about some specific angel types rather than the general angel mythos.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that's true.
Right. So first we're going to talk about the Astral Devas, or the Devas, or the correct pronunciation is Devas.
Yeah, I was going to ask if they're singing.
But I'm not calling them that. I've always called them Devas, and I don't fucking care what the actual pronunciation is, so I'm calling them Devas. So Devas' appearance is real classic angel. They're beautiful human, like men or women, that with magnificent white wings. They tend to have silver to white hair and silver skin. They're usually,
is that like a human-ish like depiction, like a regular face with like a human nose and stuff like that? Is that like, I'm trying to picture it.
They look like pinnacle in physical shape humans with wings.
Okay.
But with silver skin and silver hair.
Nice.
Yeah. Devas are usually dressed very simply and very minimally. They actually prefer to be nude, but they'll cover their junk for the mortals.
They're like going to mobilize and somebody's handing out robes like, cover your junk for the mortals.
Right.
They don't want to see that shit.
Exactly.
You don't want to scare anybody unnecessarily.
Indeed. They stand anywhere from 7 to 8 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, yeah. Angels are huge. These angels are...
They all look like Shaquille O'Neal.
Right. These angels are all serve as the messengers of the gods. They journey between the realms and deliver decrees, commands, and the like. These angels are also the most likely to be sent to the mortal planes, usually in disguise, to lend aid, hope, and courage to the good-hearted folks of the universe. Also, they're the lowest power level, so they're the least likely to fuck shit up.
Okay.
Despite being messengers, though, Devas are mighty warriors, and they wield these enormous maces that they use to destroy evil.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do your humanoids like deal with this in game?
What do you mean?
I could.
If one shows up, what are you going to do? Fight it? No.
I could picture like when demons or devils show up, like that's got to be horrifying, and you take shelter. But like, what are you doing when
angels they're awe-inspiring, and they're almost terrifying to behold because of their extreme beauty and power.
Okay,
they're overwhelming. They're supposed to be overwhelming.
So you're like also taking refuge. Probably.
Yeah, you probably hide before them.
I mean, something's probably happening that makes you want to hide.
But
if
you're a powerful hero, like a level 8 or 9 hero, like it's a much lesser effect, obviously.
Especially if their junk is covered up. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Okay, so
you're like, oh, you've come, help me fight this evil.
Right. These angels, more so than the other kinds that we're going to talk about today, are the least likely to act on their own initiative. They just like to take direct orders from their gods and just do that.
Okay.
They're not trying to stir shit up, or they're not the shakers and movers. They're the foot soldiers. They're the everyman of the angel world, if you will.
They're the front lines.
They're the front lines, and in a lot of ways they are. So like I said, this is the lowest power level that we're going to talk about today. And like I said, their challenge rating is 10. And just to like give you a mechanical taste of them, like their AC is 17. All of their ability scores fall somewhere between 17 and 20. Ooh. So really, really high.
Buff boys.
They have the ability to power up their weapon with radiant power. They're with
like Mega Man.
I guess so. It's called their Angelic Weapon. They have an innate healing touch ability. They can polymorph at will. They have telepathy. They can speak all languages, and they have innate spellcasting. And they can fly, obviously, because they're angels.
Angels equal late game Mega Man.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
But Mega Man does most of the things you just said.
Does he?
He transforms.
Telepathy in all languages?
I don't know about. Well, he's a robot, so I guess
maybe it could be. He could translate. He's Google Translate
definitely
installed.
Speaks binary in English according to like any kind of anime version I've seen.
Okay. Cool. So that's Astral Devas.
What else do you need?
That's Astral Devas. Any questions about them before we move on?
No.
Okay.
Let's go on to the next thing.
All right. So next we're going to talk about planetars. So planetars, again, all these angels look like basically perfect, flawless human forms with giant white wings.
Okay.
But planetars specifically have a green complexion and are noted to be bald.
And it's like that seafoam green, right? Like
Yeah.
I've kind of seen that in the player's handbook, I think.
It doesn't really matter,
Or
but
maybe
yeah,
the Monster
that's
Manual.
in the art of the Monster Manual. It's like a seafoam green, maybe a little darker.
Sure.
But these angels, for some reason, are just noted to be bald.
Yeah, okay.
It's just a thing. Though still simply dressed like the Devas, these ones are much more likely to be armored because these are warrior angels.
But they all basically look like what's his face from, or Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen.
Yeah, that's actually, yeah, very much so. Yeah, they planetars serve as the soldiers, the captains, and the generals of the armies of good. They are a tangible representation of their deity's might, capable of devastation on the battlefield with both the strength of their arms and magic. They are able to call down thunder, fury, plague, and judgment from the skies.
Plague?
Yeah, they can just like
locusts?
like locusts now. Yeah, they can just do shit like that. They can call down fury and thunder and rain.
And call down poison frogs.
Sure, yeah, they can.
dope.
Absolutely.
That'd be hard to deal with.
They are usually depicted wielding these enormous great swords and brandishing them effortlely across the battlefield. These angels are
Like
given
Breath of the Wild, and you do the spin move.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. These angels are usually given the most dangerous tasks by the gods. These angels deal directly with the blood war. It is very, very likely that Zariel was likely a planetar before she fell.
Okay.
I mean,
It's not stated specifically what she was?
I couldn't find it stated specifically, but like I don't see it being possible of her being
why would she be
a
any
Deva.
lower power level than this?
And if she was a solar, she wasn't. Like she couldn't have been. And
Okay.
we'll get into why later. But yeah, so those are the planetars. To give a taste of their power, their challenge rating is 16, which is really fucking
That's
powerful.
pretty high.
Natural AC without armor of 19.
Without armor?
Yeah, exactly.
So they probably have armor. Though.
Yeah, they can. You can put armor on them. I'm just
nice.
talking about their
They're literally
stat
like
block.
Dr. Manhattan.
Right.
Just
Their
running around
ability
in that,
scores.
Like, thong thing.
Yeah, their ability scores are anywhere from 19 to 25.
Ooh.
So 19 is the low end.
Oh.
Yeah. And
God,
25
19
is
is
the high
good.
end. Yeah. And most of their scores are like 23, 24.
Shit.
They also have the Angelic Weapon. They have more powerful innate spellcasting. They also have telepathy. They also have the healing touch. And they have this ability called Divine Awareness where they detect untruth. Like by default. They cannot be lied to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless, weren't we just talking about like a rogue subclass that like their lies can't be detected? I think
What
that
happens
counters
here?
it. I think that counters it.
like this is
So
the...
they could lie to angels.
Oh.
That's
Wow.
how fucking
That's
good
really
they are.
powerful.
Yeah, it is very powerful.
Okay.
So.
I lied to an angel. They believed me.
They believe me. So
that could cause some real problems.
yeah, until the angels just realize like, oh, you have a power that circumvents my detection.
And then they pick you up like King Kong and just kind of...
They could, yeah. They could, if it's a fucking jackass of an angel.
Lie to me, will you?
Yeah.
Never again.
Indeed.
Squish.
So
And then
that's
they find the whole guild with the same power.
Oh,
They
yeah,
gotta,
just
stomp on
annihilate
it.
them.
Yeah.
So that's planetars.
Okay.
Those are your two major kind of types of angels, because the next one we're talking about is a little bit more special.
Even more special.
Yeah. So the next angel that's presented in the monster manual is the Solar. So the Solar is one of the most powerful creatures in the cosmos. Their power level approaches that of a godhood. Demon lords fear them. Archdevils shrink before them. In battle, they shine like the sun. A single touch of their arrow could strike an enemy dead instantly.
Nice.
They appear as 9 to 10 foot tall humans with reddish or metallic looking skin. They are physically flawless and beautiful. They are also supposedly the epitome of goodness, purity, devotion, and honor. It is said that there's only 24 Solars in existence, and only several of them are accounted for as stewards for specific deities.
And only one can show up at specific hours of the day. There's one for each hour of the
One
day.
for
is
each
what I'm
hour
trying
of
to
the day.
say.
Right, I get what you're saying. The rest of them that aren't really accounted for, and most people don't even know their names or whatever, they rest and hide in a state of contemplation, and they only ever appear when the forces of good absolutely need their intervention.
Otherwise, they're just thinking about it.
I guess so.
Okay.
They're extremely powerful. It might like the avatar of a god might as well show up. That's the power level that they're at.
All right.
They command entire armies and are themselves as powerful as the entire army that they command.
Okay.
So yeah, so the thing is, like, that's the lore flavor of their power. Now, the actual mechanics, they're extremely powerful, but I feel like it should probably get a boost because it doesn't really represent what the lore says about them. Because, like, this came out in the monster manual. Well, later on, they went ahead and published, like, the Demon Lords have stats. Well, the Demon Lords blatantly outpower the Solars, like, mechanically speaking.
Oh, okay.
They didn't really take this into account. Like, it's impossible to, like, account for everything. There's so much going on.
So Demon Lords outpowered by devils, like archdevils.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then, so these would technically rank lower.
Mechanically speaking, but it's not supposed to be like that.
Yeah, lore-wise, it should be.
Lore-wise, they should be equal to Demon Lords.
Okay.
So deal with that as DMs deal with that as you will.
Do you think one could like go toe-to-toe with a Demon Lord?
Oh yeah, easily. Like a Demon Lord might straight flee.
Like, oh, really?
Yeah, Solars are fucking powerful, dude.
What about Demogorgon? Oh, I mean mechanically. I don't mean lore-wise.
Demogorgon might not flee because he's like the most powerful of Demon Lords.
That's right. Damn Skippy. Shout out to Demogorgon.
But he would be extremely cautious because
like both heads would be like, we need to watch it.
Right. It's one thing, like, that's the thing about like these immortal, like, extremely powerful beings is they're a bit on the cowardly side because they're not used to actually being threatened. So, like, once, like, this thing that actually is a threat shows up, like, they actually think about it and maybe flee because, like, why risk it here? I live forever. I could just flee and do this another day.
Right.
And I think this is a real good explanation for why the gods aren't constantly warring amongst themselves, like when it comes to like the forces of good and evil, because one side will win, and I think both sides are afraid of what will actually happen.
Yeah, like that cataclysmic event.
It's mutually assured destruction.
I mean, they're all thinking about what they're gonna do when they win the Blood War. It's just like, we're going to Disney World, and then we're gonna fucking tear shit up.
Right, exactly.
Like, man, getting like all this lore from this is like the third or fourth side of the Blood War or whatever. Right,
it really is the fourth side, if you will.
Yeah, it's really helping me. I feel like I'm getting closer to Demogorgon too. You know, like
Okay.
I feel like I'm really getting a hold on what he's all about,
what he's about,
who he is
as a person. Yeah. I feel like me and him are
shout out to
coming
Demogorgon
together
again.
Okay. So but as I was saying,
sometimes
like,
I have dreams.
keep the power creep in mind is basically what I'm getting at when it comes to the mechanics of the Solars. So in the monster manual, they're presented as having a challenge rating of 21, which I believe is equal to or greater than a ancient red dragon.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. They have innate spellcasting of a much higher level than any of the other angels we talk about. They have a Sleighing Bow Weapon, which basically is a save or die weapon.
Wow.
Like con save, and if you fail, you die.
Is that like beholder lasers?
Yeah, except for much more powerful.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I like that
save or die.
I like that they still kept some save or die stuff because it makes these really powerful beings truly scary.
Yeah, that's very threatening.
Mm-hmm. Their sword can just fly and fight on its own.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And they wield these giant great swords as well.
You ever play Donkey Kong Country 2?
No.
Where you're just Diddy Kong? Like one of the first bosses you fight is just like a flying sword.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It just spins around.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. I like that. They also have the healing touch. They also can teleport. wherever the fuck they want all the time.
Wow.
They have a searing burst attack, which is basically just like an auric burst of fire and light, just firing radiant damage.
It just sounds like hold your action and wait for you to see it.
Right.
Like I fire an arrow and I see it
right
on the battlefield.
They have a blinding gaze where they can just look at you and you're blind now.
Oh,
yeah.
Like permanently?
I there's a save for it, but I gotta reread it, but I don't think you can keep saving for it. Someone would have to heal you of the blindness.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're extremely goddamn powerful.
Solar flare.
And so most of these solars are off the grid. They're somewhere doing something. It doesn't matter. They're not getting involved in most of the cosmos issues.
Okay.
What I was saying earlier is like when the Blood War theoretically ends, like whichever side wins is going to then try and invade the cosmos. I think that's when the solars are all going to show up.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like, maybe that's why they're hiding. Maybe they're like storing up their power and energy for the moment that it's needed.
Like Superman, he's like out in the outer atmosphere, just like sucking up rays.
Yeah, that's kind of how I picture it. Exactly, very, very much so. Because like the fact is, whoever does win the Blood War is going to gain a huge amount of power after it's all over.
Right.
Because they're going to conquer almost all the lower planes.
Yeah, they're not going to have any of these opposing forces to deal with.
And the
They're just
only
gonna-
thing that could stop them would be like the most powerful good beings in the cosmos. And that would be the solars and the gods, of course.
Right.
But yeah, so that's just my fan theory. But anyways, yeah.
It's sound.
That's angels. You got any questions about angels, Ryan?
Wow. Man, they're pretty
cool.
So they're just, there's no specific god that they're like aligned with most
Just
of the
whichever
time?
god they were created by. I mean, Bahamut, I know, uses angels. I don't think Corellon really does, but maybe he does. I'm not sure. Like, it's really up to you.
Sounds
but
like a good idea to have some to like throw at your problems.
the thing is, with Corellon specifically, is like elves kind of are angels because like
I was gonna say you
they're
have humans and then elves and then angels.
right, because like they're made of the substance of Corellon, and like that's exactly what angels are. They're made of the substance of their deities.
Yeah.
Like in a way, angels are angel. In a way, elves are divine to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Depending, it's just been diluted over the millennia. But
Yeah.
So, anyways, that being said, I think we can call it a game.
Yeah, let's call it a game.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Shout out to Demogorgon.
The Dungeoncast.
And today we're talking about angels.
And not the baseball team.
So tell me about baseball, Will.